Hi, loves. Welcome to the ABBA'S podcast, a platform dedicated to young ladies navigating their journey with God. On today's episode, we're having the ABBA'S Girl and Sister series, and our theme today is the becoming of an ABBA'S girl, learning discipline and focus. And I'm so excited. I'm happy to be joined here by Mrs. Deborah Benson, a woman I believe God has placed here for this conversation. It's good to have you here, ma.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
You're welcome. So, ma'am, you are a wife, you're an author, you're a coach, and but beyond these titles, who is Mrs. Deborah Benson?
Hi, ABBA'S girls. I'm so elated to be here today. My name is Deborah Benson. I'm a teacher in a very simple sense. I'm a passionate educator and I love teens. I love speaking to teens about awesome living about God, about their purpose in life and what God has assigned them to do. There are many other things into it, but this is just the summation of who I am and what I love to do. Thank you.
That's interesting, man. Speaking about coaching the teens, I know you are a founder of the Upthrust Global Initiative. Can you tell us more about it?
Alright, Upthrust Global Initiative is a non-governmental organization, and the whole essence of Upthrust Global Initiative is to raise teens that know God and have something to impact their world with. So it's a big umbrella that covers a whole lot of things. I do mental and emotional recovery for young people. I do coaching sessions for teens and young adults trying to find themselves in life. And so it's a big umbrella. But these are the things that we do, most of them online, some on site. But the whole goal is to raise young people that have something to offer their world with, and so they don't waste their youth. That's it. Thank you.
That's interesting, man. That's a great work here. So if you'd like your team to be a part of this initiative, the link will be on my bio. So, ma'am, let's take a pause. We're going to be having a drink here by the Gigi Food Valley. So you just give your honest review.
Bring it on.
Okay.
I tasted the mint. I could also figure out that there is cucumber inside it. I think I love the blend. Generally, I'm a fan of natural things. I love it and I'll recommend it again and again.
But delving deeper into this conversation, our theme is the becoming of an ABBA'S girl, the learning discipline and focus. So if you are watching, be present. This is not just a conversation. This is an honest one that will bless you. Becoming an ABBA'S girl, what does that mean to you, ma'am?
Thank you for that question. Let's break the word into two. I'm a teacher, right? So I'm very, very particular about words. So who is Abba? Abba is our father, our source, our foundation, our origin. And attaching the word girl to it is just simply being a girl after God's heart. A girl that longs for God, a girl whose heart pants after God and wants to do all the wish of her father. That's just the simple form. Now, the expression can be in different ways. I can represent God in the educational field. You can represent God in media. You can represent God in your school. You can represent God in your campus, in your department. But the whole goal is whatever I'm doing, Jesus is the center of it. And I'm reflecting His glory. So for me, I think that's it.
I love how you framed out, ma. The whole goal is having Jesus in you and reflecting about your word. Building on that, I would like to ask, our focus is learning discipline and focus. So, thinking back at your younger age, what helps you stay grounded in your faith and values despite distractions around you? Meeting you, one will know that you're a very focused person, admire your oral and all of that. So, looking back at your younger age, what made you stay grounded and disciplined?
Thank you for that question. It all boils down to the kind of family I grew up in. My dad is a very disciplined person, but that aside. I was born in a Christian home, and all I knew growing up was home, school, church, and my parents' business. That was all. So we had a lot of restrictions when we were growing up. So I was left with just few options. So the only places I could meet friends was in school and in church. And my school was a very disciplined school too. So I wasn't so exposed. That was an advantage for me. I wasn't so exposed to many distractions that young people now face. That helped me build discipline. I was very reserved though. I was an introvert, but the discipline culture has been installed in me already. So I grew up knowing it. I grew up knowing my focus early in life, and I grew up knowing that I'm accountable to God, to myself, to my future, and I'm responsible for my decisions. So that helped me build discipline and work in it early in life. Thank you.
Having a solid upbringing and having a good environment, so you pick that up into your young adult stage, and you make sure you're the right person. So how were you able to pick the right voices? Was there at any point you needed to cut off some circles to help you maintain your discipline?
I love that question because there are 1,001 children born to Christian homes. There are 1,001 PK outside, or how do they call them, pastors' kids, right? There are 1,001 outside, so you could be a pastor's child and not know God. So for me, God helped me to have this quest and zeal for Him early in life. Like I told you, my routine was just basically home church school. So I was involved in the choir. That was the only section of the church where born again children could do something. There was no other department in the church, so I was in the choir. I sang well, attended rehearsals on Saturday. There was basically no time for any other thing. So in the midst of those activities, God helped me to have this serious hunger for Him and passion for Him. So that was what helped me even when my parents were not there. I started learning to know God for myself. I heard Him speak to me. I remember when I had issues with getting into university, I could go back to Him, cry to Him. He heard me. So I knew that even when my parents are not here, God is here, is my Father, and I'm accountable to God. Yes. So regardless of your upbringing, you may not have that parental oversight like I did, but you're responsible to God. You are accountable to God rather, and God is expecting you to do something for Him. Yes. So that hunger for God sustained me even when my parents were not with me.
That's powerful right there. So you mentioned about being in the choir, then from there there was an hunger. So would you say environment also influence our discipline and our focus?
It does a great deal. It does 101%. It does. The kind of environment, sometimes if I tell people I grew up in Lagos, I spent all of my years in Lagos until 3 years ago when I came to Abuja, they may believe a little, but when I tell them the part of Lagos I grew up in, it's unbelievable. It was a very ras area. Those days, it was not a gentle area. I didn't grow up in the island, in the mainland where things were happening. But my dad shielded us from all of that. So it streamlined our things. We don't visit friends. Friends visit us instead. We actually don't mind. I told you I was an introvert. I've learned to balance it over time, but I wasn't a very outgoing person. So I would look 1,000 times before choosing you to be my friend. I want to be sure that you won't break my heart when I allow you to be my friend. You are not that kind of friend that cannot come to visit me in my home because my parents would say one thing or the other. Those were the seasons where I was growing up, my formative years. But as soon as the time came when it was not difficult for me to cut off anybody I see is not going in my line. It wasn't difficult. I'll just do it in a very polite way. Very polite. Probably stop following the same route with you. Just tell you that I choose now to follow another route. I did it when I was growing up. Yeah, so I discovered that this group of friends, they were not necessarily bad, but we would just be going together and they were making fun of somebody in the church. I said, I can't continue like this. I can't. So I told them, you know what? I won't be going with you guys again. There's a shorter route that I'll be following to rehearsals. That's how I did, and I escaped. Yes. So I had I had things you have to meet up with. And I'm not the kind of person that can be pressured by everybody has a friend except me. I am very comfortable in my personal space. I don't even want you to intrude if you don't have my value systems. So it wasn't an issue for me because of my temperament. And even when I started to blend in, it wasn't a difficult thing. You have to have the same value as I have. You have to be focused. We have to be on the same trajectory before I can, give you that close. But as per brethren, everybody is my friend.
That's actually powerful. Somebody needed to hear that. So you made mention of being comfortable in your own space, and that's what I want us to pick today. Okay, and then you also mentioned about how you have to just excuse yourself when you notice the persons around you doesn't share the same value as you. So you have to just find a way to leave them, and then cut that circle. So that has to say that what we expose ourselves to becomes who we are. So we have to be very particular about our circle. So what are the daily habits? Okay. For an ABBA'S girl watching that wants to be disciplined and focused, what are those daily discipline that you can incorporate into their lives?
The first for me is trying to make every day better than the previous day. I want to make today better than yesterday. So Do an appraisal of how your day went before going to bed, and be very honest with yourself. If today you did something you were not supposed to do, maybe you went late to work when you shouldn't, maybe you reacted to someone the way you shouldn't, just do an honest appraisal and tell yourself, I can do better. The best of me is here with me, and I just have to evolve into it. That's number one. Number two is put God first in everything. There is nothing too small to do on your own and take God out of. Yes, put God in everything. It will surprise you how easily you will get solutions to some problems when you put God at the center of it. So tell yourself, regardless of everything, I must talk to my Father before I go out. It's not a routine, it's a relationship thing. When I was in a relationship with my husband, he will not call me Ke. Ow. If he doesn't call, I'll call. If he doesn't pick, I'll call the person that he's with, and your brother has not called me today, so it's a relationship thing. So I love him. As soon as I wake up, I want to speak with him. So that's another thing. And the third I would say is reinvent yourself. You could be a version of yourself now, and you're sensing the need to evolve, to reinvent. I told you I was in the choir when I was growing up, right? I was in the children choir, I was in the youth choir. I was in the campus choir too when I was on campus. But sometimes I started feeling this strong leading towards teenagers, and I started to join the youth arm of the church and fellowship with the teens more so I can impact them. And I left the singing aspect. So don't be shy to reinvent yourself. When people said, your voice is nice, you sang in big places, everybody knows you, this is a new phase of my life and I want to focus on it. So those are things I would say.
That's powerful. You made mention of appraising your day every day so that you could know the areas where you could be more focused on and disciplined. You also mentioned about talking to God every day, and that's a good start off, makes your day productive. And you also made mention about reinventing yourself. Don't keep yourself stuck, because you can only keep discipline or can only be focused on the things that you enjoy doing, or you're being led to do. So reinventing yourself. So going further, I would like to ask, how do we stay consistent, even in our low days? We ladies can have low moments, emotion waves here and there. So how do we stay consistent?
I think the first thing is the pressure to feel among. Everybody has an iPhone 17. You want to have one. Everyone is doing this, you want to do it. You don't need it. Honestly, your timetable of life or your life with God is totally different from other people's, and it's fine. I mean, when I gained admission into the university, it was like 3 years after I graduated from secondary school, and some of my secondary school classmates were already in 300 level, and it's perfectly fine. At the time I was 7, one of my closest friends in secondary school was graduating from a master's, and it's fine. You see, that's life. So one thing is that peer pressure, the pressure to be alone, the pressure to run at the same pace with everybody. Everybody's getting married at 25. You want to get married at 25. Good for you if it comes at 23. But if it doesn't come till 30, it's your life. Just take your time.
That's really a major one. Thank you for mentioning that. The pressure, makes Harvard girls lose their discipline, and you don't have to be pressured. How do we maintain emotional discipline? Let's say we are not even, let's say we are single and then we see someone, this is very important, we see someone that we like, and then how do we maintain emotional discipline, not act impulsively, get our emotions together, and then even when we have emotional wave, how do we still maintain emotional discipline and not just act rational?
So emotional discipline does not start on the day you see the guy you love, right? It must have started a long time ago. It must have started way back many years before that day. So what helps you during that time is the principles that you've put in place before then. I had a principle, I don't talk to guys. It helped me even when my husband was my friend. When we were just friends and I felt like, I think this guy likes me. I felt like, I know, but I have principles. So principles will guide you. It will help you not to lose God. That's why I said it's something you must have been doing before time. And don't fall in love blindly. make sure you are going with your full senses. So don't get committed without hearing from God. If not, your heartbreak may start in the secret place when God tells you no. So take everything to God in prayer, and have a group of friends, like have a group of girls like you, like ABBA'S girls that love God, and when your emotions are going here and there, people, a safe space that you can just tell, girl, how are you doing it? Yeah. So that company is very necessary.
So having the right company is also very important, where you can share and then like guide you and help you restrain your emotions, and then having discipline even before the scenarios play out is a very important one. So having a safe place, sisters of like mind that you can share these things with, and they'll guide you and help your restraint, and also having guided principles for your life before the scenarios play out. So when you are faced with such, you're able to hold yourself emotionally. Praise God. So I would like to ask, as young ladies, like I mentioned earlier, we should be about something, being in purpose, and purpose is just being functional. So what are those silent habits that can affect a young lady like myself, can affect us? Can you just like list those non-obvious silent habits that can distract us in today's world?
Procrastination. I can't say that enough. Procrastination is one, laziness is another. If you're in a company of people where the greatest achievements or the person that broke out easily did it at 30, when you're 25, do you know you can still be enjoying your life? I'm like, there's no rushing when you're 21. But when you listen to people that are 22, this is not pressure now. It's working at your pace, but having something pushing you. Yes. So procrastination is a disease. Laziness is also, peer pressure is, not having focus and direction early in life is as well. So those things are silent, but they compound. Their compound effects can affect you in the long run.
That's a good one, ma. A good point. That's a good one, ma. The good points you noted. Procrastination, laziness, and we know how these can really, slow down our focus and make us unproductive. So avoid these silent habits. One more question, ma. If you are to speak to your younger self or go back in time, what's that one habit that you pick up, or what's that one thing you would want to tell your younger self?
What I'll tell my younger self is be courageous. My introverted character or my introverted personality actually limited me in many ways. Before I would do something, I would think of whether it would be accepted by all the people I know around me, whether it is something that should be done, like just unnecessary things to keep clouding my mind, because I was not really a go-getter per se. So I would tell my younger self that go for it. Once you believe it's right, everybody in the world does not have to validate you. So long as the major covering you have over your life, see it as worth it, go for it. Courage. Someone said something that destiny favors the courageous. You can have it in your mind, but if you cannot go for it, you won't achieve it. That's what I would say.
Be courageous. If you have something that lets you do, go for it. So dear ABBA'S girl, there's nothing stopping you. The word is your starting point. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Mrs. Deborah Benson.
Thank you.
It's been an honest and deep conversation with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So dear ABBA'S girl, you are not disqualified. You are becoming. You can start being disciplined and focused right from now. See you in the next episode.